Welcome to educator.com and another Adobe Illustrator 6 tutorial. Today we're going to talk about selections. No, not natural selections, you Darwinists. And come back into the room, you creationists. This is an equal opportunity tutorial. So in selections, I'm going to show you how to use the selections tool. Here's the whole selection section up here, and that's what we're going to concentrate on today. But this is not going to be so easy. Well, it will be easy for me, but it's going to be kind of a messy lesson because you can't talk about selections without talking about other things. So let's just review what we are going to be concentrating on, and you'll be getting a lot of bonus information today. Okay, so we're going to go just briefly over the selections. Then I'm going to concentrate on each individual tool. Well, not all of them. Well, maybe. Selection, the direct selection tool, the magic wand, similar, how to select similar objects, and how to save and edit your selections. So that's what we'll be concentrating on, and along the way, you'll get a few bonuses. So hang on tight. It's going to be a bumpy ride. And here's our cast of characters for today. Let's just start with our apple. Now, all of your selection tools are up here in the first batch, and everything's kind of grouped as I said before, so there's a dividing line between all the tools. Now, as you hover over, you can see the name of the tool. So this is your selection tool, and also after the name in parentheses is a letter, and that letter is a shortcut key that you can use to select the tool without going over here. So it's good to learn that because it helps you, work faster. So selection tool is V, the direct selection tool is A, the magic wand tool is Y, and the lasso tool is Q. So just quickly, those are the tools. So now you notice there's a little check mark here and a little arrow in the corner, and that usually means that if you hold down, there's a pop-up menu that will come, and there's a group selection tool. Okay, so there's a double tool within one. All right, so just quickly right here, I've chosen the direct selection tool, and let's see if I have that unlocked. No, I don't. Okay, always a simple solution to problems. So here I can select directly what I want. And you can see you do that, one at a time. Okay, now with the magic wand tool, I can select the same similar objects at the same time. So if I just select this color, it'll select all the other colors that are exactly the same. So you see all of these are selected. And if I select this darker green, it'll select all the dark green. And that's exactly what happens. That's the magic wand tool. Here you have the lasso tool. So with the lasso tool, I can make a lasso around whatever I want to select. Here I just drew a lasso around one point. If you can see, this point is closed, is filled, while the other point's open, so that shows I just selected that point. So if I want to draw a lasso around other points, you can see these are filled and the other ones are open. So if I want to go back to my direct selection tool, I can move these so they all move together because they've all been selected. So I stay on the same tool and then have to go back to direct selection. So forget that part. Okay. Now, group selection. Let me pull out here so we can let the others play. Okay, everybody on stage. Okay. Now, with the group selection tool, you can click once to select an object. You click twice to select an object's group, and you click 3 times to select a group within the group. So I'm going to create a group now, and I'm going to create a group inside that group. So I'm going to nest the group. So that's one of the other things that that I'm showing you that there's a bonus for today. So use my direct selection tool, and I'm going to select those 2. Select that, and select this. So I created this weird thing. So I want you. This is my first group. So keep track of that. So I'm going to use Command G to group that. And I can also go up into the window and select group. And again, your shortcut keys are on the right hand side. So remember those. Okay. So now I have my first group. Now I'm going to nest an object, another group inside of that. So I'm holding down the Shift key. I'm picking my circle and my square. But first I want to make this a group. Okay, so Command G, making that a group. Now I'm going to grab this group. So now I got 2 groups. Now I'm going to make that a group. Okay, so now I've nested my groups. Okay, deselect. So now I'm going to choose the group selection tool. So now when I click once, it just selects an object. So no matter what it is, even though these are grouped, I can select what's there. So now if I double click, so you now see the square and the circle are selected because that's one group. Now if I double click here, my other group will be selected. All right. So now if I click 3 times, then I'm going to select within the group. And everything is both groups have come up. So I've selected the group within the group. So let's see what happens if I double click again. If this one. Okay, so once it's selected, it's selected. I'm not sure what the advantage of that is. It just selects both groups. Okay, I thought it would select within the group, but all right, so it selects both groups at the same time. Okay. Okay, so let's move on. So let me get rid of these groups here because that will be confusing later. So let me just get to Object, Ungroup. And now these are all, get my direct selection. Let me get my selection tool. Okay. So when you have nested groups within groups, you have to make sure that you've gotten rid of the groups. So it takes a few times. Okay, so now this is back to normal. And now let me show you the direct selection tool. So again, I've been using the direct selection tool most of the time, so we pretty much have covered that. But just let me show you the ways that you can use it. So I can drag to select. I can click the object to select it. I can drag to select more than one object. Or again, to select more than one object, hold down the Shift key, select that, and both of these objects are selected. Now you notice I can select the path, and I can go inside and select the fill. But that's while I'm in preview mode. Let me go to outline mode, which is Command Y. And now if I select the path, I can select the path. But now if I try to select the fill, nothing happens. So with the direct selection tool, you can only select the path and the fill when you're in preview mode. When you're in outline mode, forget it. And this, see the X here, that's part of the path. So I'm still not selecting the fill there. Okay, so now let me show you what you can do if you want to be able to do that. I go to the Preferences, Selection and Anchor Display. So now, if right now object by path only is deselected, so that means I can select the fill. But if I only want to select the path, then I would select here. Okay, and also while we're here, you can choose how you want the anchor points and handles to display. So you can choose that here. You can also select show handle, but multiple anchors are selected. So I haven't found a need to change any of these default settings and preferences. Everything seems to work well for me. So, but if you have to, you know where it is. Okay. All right. So that is the direct selection tool. So we've covered selections. We've covered the direct selection tool. No, we covered the selection tool. Now we're going to go to the direct selection tool. All right, now, so here's the direct selection tool. We covered the group selection, which is part of this direct selection tool. So now I'm going to go into the direct selection tool. Direct selection tool allows you to select points and paths separately. So here I'm selecting this anchor, and you see my smart guides are showing up. So it shows I'm directly over the anchor, so it's already for me to select it. So if it's not there, then that means I'm selecting the path, and it says path. So here I selected that point, so I hold down, selected one anchor point, and I could go down here, holding down the shift key, select another anchor point, and both of those are selected. And you see these are open, so that lets me know those are not selected. So now I can move this at will because both points are in my control. Now I can not only I can use the direct selection tool, well, that's a tongue twister, on one object. I can use it on two objects. So I can select a point there, excuse me, and a point here. If I hold down the selection tool and, oops, I'm holding down caps lock. Okay. I'm trying to do it without looking, so I should look. Okay, so now I selected that anchor. Now I've selected this anchor. So now you can see both of these move because they're both under my command because I've selected them with the direct selection tool. Okay, put that back to normal. Now, those are points, and I could also select paths. So now I've selected that path. It doesn't really look like anything happened. So let me show you what's going on. So I'm going to copy the path.